Are you dreaming of those fresh, crisp, sweet peas right out of your own garden? Well, you are in the right place. Today, we're going to tackle that big, age-old question every gardener asks in the spring. When is the perfect time to plant those peas? Let's dig in.
So let's just get right to it, the big one. Have you heard this before? The idea that you have to plant your peas on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. It's like this piece of gardening folklore, right? But is there any truth to it?
And look, this isn't just some made-up thing. For a lot of gardeners, this is a time-honored tradition, both in the US and over in the UK. It's one of those classic rules of thumb that gets passed down from generation to generation. But, as we all know, traditions aren't always rooted in hard science. So let's find out what's really going on here.
Okay, so we're going to peel back the layers of that folklore and get right down to the facts. What's the real reason behind this whole St. Patrick's Day rule?
And here it is. This is the secret. The tradition. It has nothing to do with luck or St. Patrick or anything magical. It's really just a proxy, a convenient reminder for a whole lot of climates. That date, mid-March, just happens to fall right around the time when the soil and the weather are finally becoming perfect for planting.
So if it's not about a specific date on the calendar, what is it about? Well, it all boils down to one single number, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 4 degrees Celsius, by the way. This is the number you really need to burn into your memory.
And why is that number so important? Well, it's all about the soil. That's the absolute minimum soil temperature your pea seeds need to actually germinate and start growing. If it's any colder than that, they're just going to sit in the cold, wet ground. Or worse, they could even rot. So here's the big takeaway. Forget the calendar and start trusting your soil thermometer.
Okay, that makes sense. If March 17th isn't the magic day for everyone, how in the world do you find your perfect planting day? Well, let's talk about a fantastic tool that helps you zero in on the right time for your specific garden, right where you live.
Because really, the key to everything is your local climate. And the USDA Hardiness zone system is basically your best friend here. It breaks the whole country down into these different zones based on average winter temperatures. And that gives you a way more accurate planting window than just a single arbitrary date.
And here's where it all comes together. Take a look at this chart. Find your zone. If you happen to live in Zone 6, that old St. Patty's Day tradition is actually pretty spot on. But look, if you're down in a warmer area like Zone 9, you could be planting as early as January. And for my fellow gardeners in colder spots like Zones 3 or 4, you've got to be patient and wait until mid-April. Think of this as your own personalized planting schedule. Okay, let's look at a real-world example just to make this crystal clear. This right here is a planting calendar for central North Carolina. That's in Zones 7B and 8A. See where it has the letter S for seeds next to the different kinds of peas? It's showing a planting window that starts in January and goes all the way through April. This just proves what that zone chart told us. Gardeners in that area can get a huge head start, way before March 17th.
All right, so now that we've totally nailed down when to plant, let's get to the really fun part, what to plant. Because not all peas are created equal. There are a few different types, and honestly, the one you choose really just depends on how you love to eat them.
Let's break them down real quick. First up, you've got your classic shelling peas, sometimes called English or garden peas. With these, the pods are kind of tough and fibrous, so you pop them open and just eat the sweet little peas inside. Then there are snow peas. You know these. They have those flat, tender pods, and they're amazing in stir-fries. You eat the whole thing. And finally, my personal favorite, snap peas. These are like the best of both worlds, a perfect cross between the other two. They have that plump, juicy, crunchy pod that is just incredible for snacking right off the vine.
And hey, to make things even easier when you're staring at that wall of seed packets at the garden center, here are a few really popular varieties to look for. If you want those classic shelling peas, Little Marvel is a fantastic choice. For snow peas, Mammoth Melting Sugar is great. And for that awesome crunchy snap pea, you just can't go wrong with the original Sugar Snap.
Ooh, okay. We've covered a lot, right? We've gone from old folklore to soil science and all the way to different types of peas. So let's just boil it all down into a super simple playbook to get you started on the right foot.
Here it is, your path to a perfect pea harvest in just 3 easy steps. Step 1, find your zone. Just look up the USDA Hardiness Zone map online, figure out your zone, and get that general planting window. Step 2, and this is probably the most crucial part, check your soil temp. Get a simple soil thermometer and make sure that ground is at least 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And then, step 3, choose and plant. Pick your favorite kind of pea, whether it's shelling, snow, or snap, and get those seeds in the ground. See? It really is that simple.
And we'll leave you with this wonderful thought from Robert Brault.
In every gardener, there is a child who believes in the seed fairy. You know, gardening is this beautiful mix of science and, well, a little bit of magic. And now that you've got the science part down, it's time to get out there, plant those seeds, and just embrace the magic of watching them grow. Happy gardening, everyone!